But I think we're ready to head off to the third and final game of this set. And, well, in this particular game, the mighty juggernaut that is Sipon has been finally crushed. And the might of the Draco Moriarty has been pushing the set to very close games. So here we have Draco Moriarty versus a Disciple. Do you know who
Yeah,
that
that
is?
would be Alpha Sentry. Dracos, and he would be a Disciple. Because way back in the day, someone stole Alpha Sentry's name. So he's gone under different names like Phosphorescence and I think Poncho Sentry or something.
I'm so happy that this is so easy to find people on the Duelyst now. But anyway, so we have Draco playing Songhai against Lionor, which is your favorite matchup, I guess.
I mean, you're playing Ox here. I'm just assuming, and I think that Draco Marnion has a very good matchup here. I think there's few bro matchups that you're really scared of. Maybe Hyper Swarm if they can get a few golems off, but
There's the Ox.
see the Hideatsu. So you have the choice here as Draco to either replace Battle Pendo or Wild Tar, as you probably need to fish for 6 and 7 rocks. Or
Oh, you have the perfect straight in hand.
yeah, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be good at answering small things like Blood Tears and Flame Bloods. Should you be playing them, or just Crestfallens?
And there's the Dagona, so the Ebon-Ox is definitely coming online.
Yeah, one thing which is funny about Ebon-Ox is that even if your opponent doesn't have a minion, like if you're going up against some kind of wizard deck that just runs no minions, you can still use it to devour one of your own minions. Which is super hilarious.
Yep.
I think you would use the Dagona to eat up your own Azure Herald, for instance.
Does it trigger the effect when it comes back out? I don't actually know.
Yeah, because it says any. And you actually can't summon the Dagona from your hand without devouring a minion. So if the board is completely empty with no minions, you can't play the Dagona.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is the
devouring. What a lot of these Ox decks do when they play Dagona is that they often chain it with EMP, so that the Dying Wish gets removed, so that the minion it devoured never comes back.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you play like against Magmar, you can think about, oh, am I gonna devour this Mecantor? But if they play Rebuke, then they get their 4/4 Rush Mecantor back. That's pretty bad. The Alpha Sentry's Wizard Brome
seems to be like a
uses the back.
Classic.
He does give Draco the option of ramping to 5, which he uses just to summon Kron.
That brings him so much closer to the Ebon-Ox.
I think this is a mistake, poor positioning by Draco. It plays into Blood Tier Immolation. Because if I'm not mistaken, Alpha Sentry's deck do indeed run the Blood Tier Immo. Because I think that when we played against Team Australia in DWC, we noticed that they were just playing aggro decks, so we just swiped Alpha Sentry's Control Brome.
Yeah, didn't they ban the Holy Immolation actually?
How confirm that? Oh, so you play into Immolation by banning it. That's perfectly sensible.
Yes. We don't make
okay,
mistakes.
Then Draco Moriarty did a masterful play.
Well, his Draco Moriarty, like, you know, won every single tournament he's been participating.
least if it's part of a team.
Hmm.
He's the ultimate team player.
I don't know who or what my team is. I'm just gonna win with them.
Have you ever tried out the simulacra obelisk? The one that's an actual building when it comes alive.
Yeah, I have tried, but it's Do you know what the problem with it is?
No, I have never played it, so tell me.
Well, the problem is that like you already take like the very slow concept that is obelisk, which is like I spend a lot of mana this turn, and maybe next turn I get this one poop, and then you put that into simulacra, which is like, well, now you just need to wait a few more turns, and then you might get poop the next turn, and you're like,
Yeah, another thing that's interesting is when you play Timekeeper, all the build minions get to move instantly, but obelisks don't because they can't move. They summon dervishes, so even if you play Timekeeper, you're not getting any dervishes.
yeah. I mean,
No zero.
I have this urge to. I've always had this urge to try it with the Stone to Spears, but it's just not very appealing because that's like literally the only build minion in Vetruvian. So
Also zero underscore you. No, this is a pro bird zone.
yes, we love birds here.
It's the banhammer against bird haters.
Yeah. No, we don't ban. We poop on them. It's okay. It takes all kinds, but you're still getting pooped on.
I'm not exactly certain what Alpha Century's optimal play is here.
Well, Tempest is a pretty good start.
I guess he's got a double Tempest board.
Mm. I haven't actually keeping track like his track of how close he is to the trial.
I think he's summoned 2 through 4.
Oh.
And the replay is bugged because when you hover over them
Yeah.
post game, they show all things you've completed.
Yeah, because Traco is actually getting
Feels
very
like
low
some-
on health here. What you were
Yeah,
saying?
and I think you need. I was saying that you need a 7 or 1 drop to complete trial here. Alpha is getting pretty low on cards.
If you pulls the Trinity out here, then it's might be pretty tricky for Traco.
I mean, there's 2 ways you can easily remove that. That's either claiming it or martyrdoming it. And martyrdoming it doesn't feel good. Putting your opponent up to...
Oh,
No,
that's
it's going to claim it.
Yeah. Wow, a pretty tense moment. I think it really depends on what Alpha actually has in their hand, because this is like a make it or break it moment, I feel, for the Braum player.
Yeah, if he has a Trinity, this is going to be difficult. And likewise, if he doesn't draw a 7 or 1 drop, this is going to be difficult. Even Calligrapher would be fantastic here, as it would give you a lot of spells. Not certain if I agree with this positioning by Draco Moriarty. He does play around Imperial's claim quite well, but he allows Alpha to stay on the tile and hit. Like if he goes Regalia, he can hit the tar. And also, I feel like you probably should body block so that you're not taking damage here. Because Alpha is gonna be wanting to burst you down here, and he probably is playing Lucent Beam and Flame Blood.
I guess it's just kind of feeling like I have the tempo now. I just wanna kill Alpha before he can stabilize.
Possibly. Draining Wave.
Wow. Confidence surges as enemy crumbles.
I was thinking you were gonna float the mana, just casting Thunderhorn and then be happy with it, but Tempo Strong play was rewarded. Of course, he gets a really sweet Dagonov now, as he played
Oh.
Conjurer.
That's gonna be really smooth. Next 2 turns.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I agree with that. Sure, you can be playing EMP here and get trial off, which would let that be absolutely devastating next turn. Oh no, you actually don't have the trial off. My mistake, because you only have 2 through 6. Okay, so then his play was correct.
So now it depends on what Alpha can conjure out of Prome's hat.
Another claim into BBS is pretty strong here.
Yeah.
Get his conjure back. BBS and do an organist.
Can you actually survive next turn? I mean, that's like 8 damage, and then you get the... No, the the damage doesn't go through yet.
You play Blood Tier and ping him first, and then you play Trial Minion, and then you can shoot him for 7 in the face.
Yes. And you
He's
have 10 damage on
debating
the
right
board.
now. He's already gone full through. Or...
Yeah, I think this should be lethal here.
Yeah, he even gets this duplicate.
Mm.
This is also an incorrect sequencing. I think there's lethal to be had.
Unless he has played one minion already.
Oh, but you can still have... I don't think he had. Missed lethal here this turn. See, if he played Blood Tier first, he would have been able to play Hideatsu, play EMP, shoot him for 7 in the face, and hit him for 8 with the Dagona.
Yeah.
Say, well, okay, sure. He's not gonna lose this. Will be. Because all it takes is a Sun Drop into double loosened beam to win here.
No, it's
maybe this was lethal.
no, wait, no. He had lethal.
Well, you're doing the complicated lethal while you have to count and stuff. That's unfair to streamers.
Yes. When we cannot count higher than 1.
Like,
Wow.
shooting him for 7 in the face.
Yeah, that's
Then just pinging him endlessly with Blood Tears.
like there was a moment when I was thinking about going back, and then he was like, "No, wait."
Yeah, I think that's really bad sportsmanship of Draco there.
Yeah.
He should just make the easy count play.
Yeah. Well played either way, from the both the Jewish disciples and self-employed mercenaries.
The end.
But we are gonna move on to the next match.
I think self-employed mercenaries won with 6-5.
He inserts a joke about pooping on 0_. I bet you didn't see that one coming. Alright, next match is gonna be Lorem Ipsum versus... Do you wanna try?
Do I want to try what?
You know, I have absolutely no idea what the name is, but it's very long.
Oh, the name. No, the name is like when you do like headlines and such in journalism and like advertising. It's like a placeholder name, Lorem Ipsum. So they were undecided about their name, and I jokingly said you can name your team Lorem Ipsum, as in the literal placeholder name, and they decided to stick with it.
So how do you explain the schizolastic septible?
They banned all healing cards. That's my say about them.
They indeed banned all the healing cards. Which is
Fear and finality, though.
well, true.
But I guess you can only do so much with 4 bans.
I mean, still that like that's like a very
Soundverber, I think you're vastly overestimating how much I know about things.
Yeah, any other comments about the bans or themes?
Yeah, what they're banning. Yeah, SS is banning Azure Herald, Healing Mystic, Earth Sphere, and Trinity Oath, which are all healing cards, or in what case, draw.
Mm.
Trying to go for some kind of aggro burn strategy where they're trying to remove your opponent's option of getting health back. While Lorem Ipsum goes for a more traditional, so to speak, ban with EMP, Metallurgist, Juxtaposition, and Plasma Storm.
Yep. Juxtaposition especially has been a very, and Call of Metallurgists I think are like the top 2 bans this week.
Yeah, we've had Metallurgist banned against us 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, Juxtaposition's been banned for us 2 weeks in a row.
Alright, so I think we're ready for the... So...
Not only is it Moser, but Moser is S rank 1, what the hell?
And don't listen to us, but also I think Verocca is playing in this schizophrenia. That's what it is. But yeah, next game. We have Mazer representing schizophrenia and Zero_ representing Lorem Ipsum. And I bet you didn't see that one coming, because we're gonna poop on him.
Playing some kind of Abyssian deck here. Not entirely certain what it might be. Thinking face emoji. There's a Voth play where it passes turn 1. I vastly disagree with this play.
Why? Dismember this play.
Why aren't you playing Aphotic Drains in your Swarm deck? Why are you not? Oh, you can't play Azure Heralds. They counterpicked it so for healing.
True. Actually, yeah, true.
Kind of curious why they chose Abyssian to be their anti-aggro list though, and especially Swarm. Aggro Cast is actually a pretty okay anti-aggro deck because you have Void Pulse and you have Desolators, even Spectral Blade. Linar can also be a pretty good choice because you have Circle of Life, Claim, but also Scintilla and the like, and even the rare Grandmaster's Ear.
This is actually the second game of this particle match, so Mazer won the first game, so they already probably have a good idea what Mazer is playing, or Mazer.
But not really seeing what they're taking them for. I'm guessing this type of deck doesn't run anything bigger than 5 in Chakrams, unless you're playing what's that 6-mana thing called? Vorpal Reaver.
Yeah, that's very hard to fit nowadays into the deck list.
You can play it if you play Dark Fire Sacrifice, I guess.
You could. Oh, Dragon. Well, that's gonna be awkward.
Yeah, that's gonna be difficult. So, you have 2 options of plays here, where one of the play is you make one of your minions big with the Fire Crescendo, and then it gets instantly Blood Bared, and you lose the game. The second play is to play a Blood Bomb Mentor and double BBS.
Yeah. Which is not that appealing because there's a Trigon, which means that there's.
Right. They also have the Furiosa, which becomes. They become.
Yeah, actually.
How does it work?
So they get +1. Right. So they get +1, so it's not actually out of Obelisk lethal range, so.
Yeah.
And they only trigger it once because I don't think the mentor spell counts as blood
No,
charge.
not what's in your hand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like funny interactions in the game. Because if you ever played Flash Reincarnation, you know that the next card, like if the next card you play isn't a minion, the reduced cost goes away. But if you play your BBS, it doesn't take away that reduction in cost to the next minion. Because BBS is a spell, but it's not a card.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Like it was a really awkward interaction. With
Also, someone was talking about on Discord today, and it's not relevant in Team Wars, but if you have two Zodiac Charms online, they get 2 layers of force field.
Which is complete, poop.
It's interesting because that's inconsistent with the rest of the game, where force field only goes once, even if you have 2 things, it gives twice.
Yeah. I think back in the day when there was a minion that gave force fields, it was specific that if you apply force field on a force field minion, it doesn't get double force field. Like that's how.
Oh, if you play something like Prison Barrier on a Sunsteel?
Yeah, there was like this actual minion that gave like force fields, the Lore Weaver or whatever. Like way back in the beta days. But I might be misremembering.
Yeah, this Stars Fury is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So who won game match, by the way? Who won game 1?
Maser.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
My memory's short, it seems.
You could say you have a bird brain.
I do indeed have that. I wish I had a Pert's brain.
Streamers. Also, Zero Underscore, I think like most people build their decks in 10 minutes. And my sample size is basically me, so it's scientifically accurate.
I'm more of a dick in that way, because I'm not going to submit anything I don't like. So I'd rather build the deck myself and let someone else submit their own version. It can't be fun for Spammer Noob to play with me.
Yeah, I remember we had some arguments about some Vetruvian lists. But that different list you made was actually really nice.
Oh, you mean for DWC?
No World Cup.
I may have to off again because you banned Sans World Readers. That's really unfair.
Did we?
You banned Sans World Reader, Juxta, EMP, and Lava Lance for us. You banned Juxtaposition, Cryptographer, Rebuke, and then something else.
Reader.
Yeah, the 4th card was actually Blood of Air.
Yeah, we can see that the Mazer is kind of in a tricky spot here. I mean, the Tricon is still alive, but like he's taking a lot of damage from that Deathfire thing, and if he doesn't actually have a Blood of Air, he's not gonna. Well, he has Blood of Air, but
they always have Blood of Air, and if they don't, they have Sans World.
Yeah. But still a very tricky position for Mazer to, because he only has 9 health left anymore.
Yeah. You know, there's been one instance of an actual, like, a game being lost because you played a banned card. It was Draco who played Golden Metallurgist against Jewish Disciples.
Yep.
He's played a banned card in last Meltdown League.
You mean
Flash in Wanderer Ragnora, which you're not allowed to.
Ah.
I don't think I actually played it though. I think he just had it in his deck.
We also had like an illegal deck in one game, but we just didn't really match. Because apparently, if you don't save in the deck building menu, it doesn't save the deck, and people get confused.
Yeah, I think the Mighty Balloon did the same against us, where he like insta conceded after
Yeah.
after he got the match because he had either the wrong deck or he had banned cards. I would unfortunate for Zero here not getting a demonic lure to just whip that
Yeah.
Trigon off the corner.
But I'm still
Tricky because
like Mazer has like built up the managed to clean up the board so many times, but like he only has so many Stars Furies. Zero underscore is at 17 health. Where's the fireplace? What's happening? I'm confused.
you can't even place Starfire and Star Sphere in the same Fireblaze, and there's Solar as well.
Oh.
You can see there he was hovering over it, furiously hoping he drew it last turn.
Mm. What a fair, perfect timing. I think that's the second Blood Affair he's played this game. But do you think like a Zero underscore could have like played this game a bit different? Like maybe not go next to the Trigon when you cannot answer the Trigon.
He got a little bit unfortunate in not drawing his demonic lure. I'm also not super convinced by exposing that. The 3-mana 2/4 at the beginning of the game, it would have lived. Should he had not placed it on tile. I felt like the position was very greedy and it was very expensive in terms of cards, because you can see the Zero underscore's hand is very low.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like Zero underscore's deck is a little bit of a mismatch between a lot of things. Typically, when you play this type of hyper swarm, you don't really pack control tools like rituals and fatigue drains, because you could do it, but I feel like there's better decks that can pull an anti, or that can fill a control tool.
Lady Lock kind of reminds me of the very old Swarm decks when they tried to pull the Lady Lock combo off.
What's it different back in the day?
Yeah.
If so, how? How was the old Lady Lock?
I don't actually remember. I think it was like 2 mana or something. I think they nerfed it at some point. It was a really long time ago.
And they buffed it also because it used to be 2/2 for very long.
Yeah.
This is the callback to the older days of a Truvid where you actually could play Obelisk because you had Whispers of the Sands.
Or you could play the Third Wishes and they would get lasers like normal people.
And you can play Kanam Ka outside of Bolt.
Yeah.
Now it's just looking a little dire for Zero here.
Yeah, that cast is a really bad card right now.
I think you just spam your hand here and hope. Oh, it's this turn. I thought it was nearby.
Yeah, it's this turn. I think it used to be like after you play it, then all the minions before it or something, but they made it more easier to play.
I think Spammer actually played Lady Lock and Fault so that the dervishes would become 3/3s and you could move away from them.
But that
I think he used.
if it's a 3/3, then it's always like you want the poop to hit the face, not stay on clocking up the ramp, so to speak.
I recall he used it at one game against SLG, a game he won, even if he lost the set in the long run. And the Rush Mini just keeps eating up the board here. So can Mazer find a lethal?
I don't think he can find a lethal unless he has like let me actually think.
First series gonna let him clean up a lot of things. No, it's only 3 spawns. 2 spawns actually. It's
yeah,
really...
it's No, so not that one. That's not the. I'm thinking like fireplace into plot of air maybe.
You could probably just BBS it first and see how the spawns go from the gust.
Yep. I mean, plot of air into fireplace will be lethal here, I think. Doesn't look like that's gonna be the play here. But he actually has the fireplace. Why did he hit Blood of Earth that minion?
Which minion you meant he should have blood of air?
Because if he had like Blood of Earth the upper right minions, then you would have an actual way to attack Lilith. And then you could, with a good positioning, maybe get like 3 poops to hit the Lilith and then hit Lilith in the face with the cast and kill her off. So that would have given him a chance to win the game that turn.
This also could just be that it was running out of time and he was just cleaning up the board so it didn't lose the game.
Yeah, well. I imagine in some teams there are like people yelling in your ear telling that no, we do this, and there's like one guy just crying in despair and the other guy is not contributing, he's just confusing everyone and you're like, now we do this. Shut up.
Well, that's definitely me trying to yell at people. He draws Chakram from the Inkling Search but chooses not to play it. He maybe replaced it into Chakram as well.
Yep.
Looks like there's lethal.
Yep. Your days are counted when the fireplace is pooping.
Yeah, I'm getting and having Gust shoot out how many? 6 or 8 sets of
that thing just survived like a madman. Alright, I think we're ready to head off straight into the next match.
I would agree.
Let me just check the
Yeah, Icicle is also a player who had his name stolen for him. LC for some time, but he decided to settle for his Icicle UK name.
a lot of name stealing in this game.
Yeah, so if you're a big name, and make sure your Smurf takes over your real name, and then while you have your
Alright, so we have Icicle coming up versus Draco.
Ooh. So one thing that one should be wary of is batting Owl or Jux. Because if you allow both Owl and Jux to be up the same week, you're playing arguably the strongest deck in the entire format. Shidai.
Oh, Shidai.
I would say that the top 3 decks in this meta, or at least what I think, is some kind of like aggro eggs, Arc Shidai, and the mid-range Sif. Well, they have all tools in place, of course. So is Dragal running a more spell-centric Starhorn? Is it playing a more I don't play spells because I don't plan on being behind kind of Starhorn? It seems like he's going for the poor man's liner opening here. Okay, he did not. Tear into more.
Wow. Just go face.
Oh no, Lava Lance. Wow. I remember before they released Dragonora, and Lava Lance was essentially only played in super aggressive Starhorn lists.
Yeah, this is like some crazy opening.
Using to play Lightbender is interesting. I find it to be a very subpar card in Arcanists, but I guess if you counterpick it.
Well, it's still technically Arcanist, so
Yeah, but it doesn't really help your Arcanist game plan along. I feel.
Mr. Mana asks, do you think the team that banned healing cards will go aggro?
No, I think you're going to play 6 different sets of control decks.
That's what I will be doing.
It's merely a facade. Gal has a pretty good Flash Mecantor target here.
Instead, they play young Silitar.
Yeah, Primus Fist.
Face.
Natural selection. Okay.
Well, that was very smooth play, I have to say.
Just have to cash in on the damage. I think at this point you replace the Lightbender. He hasn't really showed you anything that's worthwhile dispelling at this point.
Yeah.
And also note that Rokal has 1 card in hand.
Yeah.
Makes his own judgment. Doesn't think that there's much to be had here. So you can do 2 plays here in my mind. You can play Owl and Jux, or you can play Chakri and Shatsu. Because you're sure to be drawing a card next turn.
Do you worry about the board here, or do you just like kind of just let it be and just like try build your
I'm
own?
not super worried. And at 5 mana, I'm not super worried that's gonna do anything super strong. Yeah. And he can also afford to play playing around Flash Mecantor here, since it's super unlikely that he's gonna pick it up or have at least one of the set pieces in hand.
Track our speed running this match. We couldn't even say anything. Well, that happens sometimes.
A nice card here, especially as you have no other healing. Yeah. Dragal is a returning player, almost having a legendary status within the community. Icicle is, however, one that's been sticking around, so he's more used to the meta and is more, more used to playing this game.
Yeah.
Which means he might be playing more competitive and more, modern decks, contemporary decks. But there isn't the card he's going to be needing. So I think at this point you play Albeast behind him, move the Chakri to the corner, juxtaposition the Chakri and the Silathar and BBS, and you win the game.
Who's playing on Dragal's team? I think there's like 50 million legends in that schizophrenic team, so include in the double time World Championships winner. Holy shit, that was loud. Ferrocco.
Oh, my apologies. I had a bunch of keys in my pocket that I put away. Wait, okay, so we choose to clear the Silathar, which...
I mean, you can still jux and go face.
I think you keep... I disagree with this play. I think if you're going for the passive play of clearing the Silathar, you could very well just keep the Chakri in the corner and, like... If you played something next turn, you just Chakri it away.
Maybe I was like thinking about playing around Plasma Storm or something.
Oh yeah, so also they literally die to stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you have the Cantor, you can actually clear it. He's the better man here.
Yep.
And this Mecantor does absolutely nothing in this scenario. Not even cleaning off the Chakri.
Yeah. Where is that Mecantor?
Yes, but you also have an out of position Albeast at this point. So I think you just play backline 4 wins and just start BBSing here.
Drakal still struggling to find any cards. And also this for attack minions means that like a lot of his board removal doesn't work, especially with the Owl Beast buff.
Yeah, Caesar concede. There's no real point in keeping this game up.
Yeah, that's true.
Arcanist Shidai with juxtaposition is more powerful than a Lava Lance Starhorn. Funny how it'd be like that.
Reminds me of those battle days of Arcanist dominance.
Yeah, when Arcanist Vannar was good.
Yeah.
Now Arcanist Vannar is by far the worst of them.
And I'm so glad it is.
You can still do fun things with Seraphim. Ice Age, Ilonarek posted week 1, which I never got the chance to play. That had 3 Ghost Seraphims. Energy.
Alright, so the last game is gonna be 20th Century Boy versus Songhai Icicle.
Yeah. And it's gonna be Arcanist Shidai versus Control Brome.
The Wizards continue to breed.
I think you replace the Oakthier turn 1.
Hmm.
Or maybe the Clay. You hold the Bloodtear because it's eternal play, which is going to let you go turn 2 Regalia unless it gets tassued. Or maybe the Tempest is just not going to do anything.
Yeah, but like you kind of want to keep the. Don't you want to kind of think about like you're playing Arcanists, so you want to like keep the board if they spiral out of control like in the last game.
Yeah, but you know it's a 7 mana card and you start at 2 mana, so there's a lot of opportunities to draw it. Here.
Do you think Prom is favorite here versus Shidai?
The way you win as Arcanist or as Wizard Brome in this matchup, you have to be able to answer their board. Because once Arcanist starts going, you can't beat them, essentially. Unless they play into, like, Decimate. So you just gotta make sure that if they play, for instance, something with 3 health here, like Illusionist, you play Tempest into Blood Tier. You always make sure that they have to start afresh. I think you replace Flame Blood here.
Yeah, that seems kind of unneeded card right now.
Yeah, because I'm imagining you just Tempesting into a Blood Tier, and next turn you either Raw Sunbreaker or Regalia, depending on what's best. And also, if your deck is carrying Martyrdoms, you should really be fishing for them.
A lot of discussion going on.
He replaces the Sunbreaker, which is okay, I guess. One downside with playing the Blood Tier this turn, though, is that you're not going to be able to get the Blood Tier into Immolation off, which is quite powerful. But I think that letting the Arcanist stick is just too dangerous, and you have to board clear.
Yeah. Would be very
now, as
well
for the positioning of the Blood
yeah.
Tier, oh, okay.
Well, that's a play we weren't anticipating.
No, yeah, technically a 3/4 is bigger than a 2/3.
Technically.
He is ahead on board, technically. And on cards.
So I guess the idea is that they cannot trigger the old beast enough if they block the mana at all, so they can just immo it at some point or something. Actually, I have no idea what they were doing.
Got greedy and wanted their Tempest to hit more than one thing, and maybe they felt like they were wasting their Blood Tier Immo combo when they use the Blood Tier. Then you get this instead, and I think I would have preferred having the empty board and the Blood Tier board. I think maybe the Flame Blood has to go here.
Yeah.
Which is also a judgment that 20th Century Boy makes.
Well, I can get rid of the old now, so the prismatic isn't so bad. It's still pretty big. And it's still pooping illusions.
I think that's correct. You can even use Blood Tier here and go... oh no, you can't. You actually have to double Tempest to clean off the lower illusion.
Or, yeah, well, you can... Yeah. Yeah, you could just take the 4 damage to the face and... Yeah. Play the elixir.
As for playing the Sundrop, disagree. If you were making that play, I think you needed to play the provoke token this turn. I don't think you're dying for 16, so I think that was a misplaced heal. But it's also a very, very difficult matchup.
Mm.
Tiny.
Mr. Mana would also keep the Auto Tempest for later. Which I think kinda makes sense when you think about it, like a bit longer than one turn ahead.
About what kind of like solid answers you have for it. When you allow Arcanist Shidai legal with juxtaposition, I feel like you need to have some specific tools to deal with that deck.
Mm.
And to say, because Arcanist Shidai is like, even without the bans in place of Wander and Titan, it's still a super solid deck. You just have to like continuously deny them the board or set up your own, which is faster than your opponent. And Wizard Brome is not that deck.
I remember we played in the World Cup, the World Cup, the Arcanist Jedi a couple of times, and it always went so bad.
Yeah, well, Owl wasn't legal in
Shanghai.
Play Arcanist Lilith in the finals, but I lost to stupid trial. Replacing Regalia is curious. I guess Regalia gets pinged off by 4 wins.
Yeah. And you still have Prismatic Illusionist there hanging around.
Yeah, you were trading into the 2-1 preferably, perhaps.
Yeah.
And now you have to mill. Because I'm assuming the only 1-drops your deck carries is Sunrop and Blood Tier. Especially since Cleric is banned.
It's got a bit of healing on the deck hand though, so that's not... And you have double Tempest and Immo again, so it's not that bad.
I mean, that's true. Like, if Icicle doesn't drop the Owl here, for now, double Tempest may very well be a board clear.
Yep.
That also looks very backliney. Could be a Trinity Wing.
People still play that card.
I play Calligrapher, so what do I know?
Sparrowhawk is pretty good draw here, I think. That Miss Dragon Seal is always useful.
Yeah, as a 3-2 in the Days of Old, it was just too bad. But as a 3-3, it sees a lot of plain Arcanists.
Mm.
It gives you more Mr. Dragon Seal, so that's never bad. You can only imagine what a faction like Magmar or Lion Armor would do if they had access to Mr. Dragon Seal. They could fly a big dinosaur into your face.
I would love
So now double
Tempest.
Tempest. So now double Tempest is clear. Also choosing to drop the Flame Blood, which is actually a minion here, in case you wanted to play Flame Blood into Immolation. Now you're forced to use an awkward positioning from your BPS to clear that instead.
But now
I
you
see
get
getting punished here for
yeah.
not finding the second owl, as I would probably have allowed him to run away with this game.
And instead now you're kind of getting cornered, which is not the happiest place as Arcanist.
Yeah, and back-to-back claim is very solid here. Was a 20th Century Boy did not choose to BBS last turn, which I'm assuming is because he wants to get the BBS into Immolation off.
I think it just wants the Immolation power because it doesn't have a minion in hand. There's the Mist Dragon Seal. Unfortunately, this is a complete setup turn for Icicle, it appears.
Yeah, plays around claim as well. I feel like you hold his hand, because I think you just Circle of Life, the backlining thing.
PPS.
Yeah, you do it because you just kind of refresh either way.
Yeah. Do you think you replace one of the claims? Or the oath?
Not at a 7 mana point. You could replace the oath, but that's gonna punish you in a 2 to 3 turns when you've played your back-to-back claim turns.
Yeah. You could just like play the minion diagonally so the Sparrow Hack cannot actually hit it.
Yeah, that's exactly what 20th Century Boy chooses to do. Probably reasoning that he wants Icicle to use its face to clean off the Crestfallen, hoping that Icicle plays into claim. But Icicle is probably routined enough to be playing around claim at this point.
Yeah, I think Icicle has like a lot of experience Arcanist Shirai or Arcanist lists in general. I remember that he used to be championing those decks like back in the day.
The deck list, but I definitely hope that Icicle was playing Calligrapher here. That also works.
And playing around the claim again.
Yeah, he's making the claim turns awkward for him here. And the positioning of the Trinity Wing is so that your BBS into Immo can't hit it. Arguing that since you can't get a proper Immo off. Yeah. So the play here is BBS now, move down to Shidai and Flame Blood Immo to clean off the Trinity Wing.
Yeah. Seems like that's gonna be exactly the play here. And next turn you have the Trinity Oath if you don't get a good claim off, so either way you're pretty settled.
Icicle has 6 cards in hand, which is a bit menacing. A lot of refill. He's played 1 or 2 4-wins, I can't recall exactly right now.
The Icicle is also down at like 10 HP. And there's like 6 damage on the board right now, so...
Yeah, and he's got the Illusion Beam in hand, which he can couple with Trinity Oath. So unless he can actually backline a Arcanist here, my guy, he may very well be dead.
I think the Calligrapher will be pretty good here.
It's a bit of an unusual pick. It's a card I think that most people would just write off as bad or gimmicky. because I started playing it at Ox and I realized that it was so. I'm not gonna say it's good, but it's like fun for the late game games.
But I would imagine like if you like you have 7 mana minion with rush, that gives you some more spells. In an Arcanist list would be pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's very good, especially in Ox, as it can deal 7 damage when it comes down.
Mm.
So it spirals something as its opening gambit.
And then you get a spiral, so you can do it again.
And play a real spiral. Probably debating whether he's gonna oath this turn or if he's gonna claim. Icicle probably has deducted that he's playing claims, so he's spacing his minions accordingly.
I would personally probably just beam the Sparrowhawk, play the PPS, or move 2 back and play PPS or whatever.
Yeah, there's no way you can pick up lethal now that he healed.
Yeah.
Because another beam would have been lethal after the oath because you get hit.
Because I think the trouble with just like claiming the kindling exposes you pretty close to potential lethal.
You probably are dead. Because he's currently threatening 15 if both can reach. Now he can move away from both the kindling and the kindling and the Sparrowhawk. So that would require Icicle to actually have the Mysteria Seals of the Chucks under reach him.
So they're debating replacing one of the claims, I guess, to see if they have a better claim, or just claiming the kindling.
Yeah. The reasoning is Icicle's playing around claims, so maybe seeing that one may make him play into another one. And also, if you're playing Trinity Oath, your Lucent Beam will hit the Sparrowhawk.
Well, now Icicle only needs Spiral and Mistrak and Seal to throw lethal.
I mean, he may be dead, provided that the card is a kindling. Kindling in a million spells. But that doesn't seem to be the case.
Oh, yeah, that Mistrak and Seal.
He's played how many Sparrowhawks? 2 or 3?
Yeah, 2.
Main deck, I think 3 Mysteria Seals, I'm assuming. Yeah, still playing around a claim here. Not going for that 20th century. Doesn't have the second claim.
He's very close to lethal here. And he decides not to attack to preserve his health, just in case 20th century has some kind of weird...
Yeah,
double
oath
flame
into
blood.
double beam is still lethal.
Yeah.
Oath into double beam. No, you don't have mana for that. I was thinking you could oath into double beam into Tempest, but. Ooh, that's probably still worth it.
Wow. What a pull. I really like the heal he got from there. Because now that Sakri Avatar doesn't suddenly look so...
Only have the one Icicle is holding a
Threatening.
juxtaposition. Arguing that the Dawn's Eye is too slow in this matchup. And this hand is very, very heavy on burst. This game might even be decided here.
Yep.
Either Icicle wins this game here, or 20th Century Boy wins the next turn.
Juxtaposition will be very close to doing it. especially with
Wow.
all those
It
spells in
actually
hand.
teleports the Buckingham anymore, the Crestfallen. Backlining a prismatic illusion means it doesn't have lethal though.
He's one off. And now do you hit?
I still think you don't. You're still dead to the very same oath in the double claim turn.
Yeah.
Or double beam play.
But one beam was already played, so that's not such a big concern, but still a first 20th century boy could have here.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to do in this scenario.
You can draw the game, I think.
Can you?
Unless I
How in
miss
that case?
Yeah, so you can hit with the thingy to the scroll bandit, heal it, and then hit double using beam to face and draw.
How do you heal the
Because you hit with the scroll bandit.
Crestfallen though?
You
Doesn't
just
heal your VBS creates a 1-2.
So you hit the scroll bandit. And then you emote the crestfallen.
So tell a BBS double loosened beam.
Well, that also works.
Yeah, I would not have spotted this lethal. I would not have spotted this lethal apparently. This is definitely me when I don't spot a lethal. Twentieth Century Boy wins this dragged out game on 1 health. How fitting.
I mean, that must feel pretty bad for Isaac. I mean, that was such a close matchup.
Yeah, but he drew only 1 owl the entire game. I would have been very, very salty if I lost that as Icicle.
Yeah.
Essentially, more than half your deck and finding only 1 owl piece stage.
But well, that series was like a very close one, as was the previous one. So
Yeah, I questioned some early plays by 20th Century Boy there, but I think at the end he had a runs to it, and then in the end he won. I haven't played too much Control Brome, so maybe it's good I stay off that stuff.
alright, so the next matchup is gonna be the Monolith Zoo versus Toronto Erratic Raptors.
Yeah. You need a very, very big brain to understand that reference.
I just know that they have been around quite a few series or Team Wars by now.
Oh, I mean the name.
I have
His last
absolutely no
season they
idea.
were called Keepers of the Ale, I believe.
I have absolutely no idea where the name comes from. I have absolutely no idea where the Monolith Zoo either comes from, but yeah. Monolith Zoo is one of those new teams I basically put together.
Yeah, I
And
think Icicle said that he wanted to start a new team.
Mm.
No, sorry, that's Lorem Ipsum. I get things mixed up.
Yeah. So this is basically the leftover players. So Lyver, Nif, and me, and Yo Please, and Zakatsu. Yes.
What was the last one? Zakatsu?
Zakatsun.
Zakatsu.
Zakatsun.
So let's discuss a little bit what plans you have for next week. What decks are you planning on bringing?
We were thinking like just bring at least 3 Megazord lists and then 1 build list, probably Vetruvian, because Simulacra is a very good card. And
Yeah.
then then maybe I don't know, maybe some kind of keeper list.
Ooh, what type of keeper? Are we talking keeper Bond or keeper Voth?
Keeper what? I guess. I think Lyron would be very excited to play that.
Ooh, that's swanky.
But yeah, any drop highlights from the bands before we head off to the first game?
Between the Toronto Raptors and the Zoo, you got Swirler, Lance, Juxta, Rebuke banned for your side model of the Zoo, which you can't play, and then you in return banned Imo, Flash, OBS, and Shaper.
Yeah. So,
may I ask why you banned Dream Shaper instead of Metallurgist or Celebrant?
that was actually my call, because I think Dream Shaper hurts a lot more Metruvian decks than Weeder. But that's my personal opinion and preference.
Mm-hmm. So we're seeing Zabiel playing here, but he has Aspect of the Mountain, so this must be Death Advocate.
Zabiel is actually Death Advocate and nobody knew.
He will now draw into Sunset Paragon and EMP. Beautiful, beautiful tournament ribbon, which both you and I had a chance to win that one a few months back in the finals of DWC, which we shamefully lost to the excellent Asian team.
Yes. To be fair, they played really well.
Oh yeah, and I played absolute garbage that series.
Yeah. I think we all kind of did. High hopes.
It was yeah. What is a die happy man with a tournament ribbon?
But yeah, on the left side, we have Zabiol from the Toronto Erratic Raptors, also beloved and belated caster of this stream. With Duelyst, I knew a player from Monolith 2. So.
Yeah, and if you're wondering where Zabiel got his tournament ribbon from, it was from Meltdown League 1. Not DWC. So we're seeing some kind of mid-range version here from Zabiel. Curiously enough, he doesn't play Kara. As a lot of these cards, it's good at Kara. This in particular a very, very interesting card in Kara. As it now is a really, really big boy.
Yeah, that's actually true. Like, I guess this is kind of like throwback to this old, more control-y Vanguard decks that just don't try to go face. But yeah, Kara would be actually pretty nice with those cards.
But now we will see the turn 1 Repulsor Beast. Oh, I guess not.
But yeah, at this point, I think we were down to. Let me actually check how it went. Yeah, this is the second game in the match. Zabiol won the first one, so we already had some kind of idea what they were playing.
Figure you were gonna beat aggro Fae with aggro Fae.
We actually kind of figured out that Zabiol is not actually playing aggro Fae, probably. Because we saw a lot of gravity wells and walls and those kind of things.
It's running the Luminous Charge, the Scorn combo, in which the walls from Luminous Charge only have 1 health. So you play Scorn to forcefully pop them during your turn.
Yeah.
Found my quote-unquote favorite card.
Very Swedish card of you.
What's Swedish of me?
Very Swedish card of you.
Oh, Blaze Sound would be with an instead. You know, like the IKEA jokes.
Blazehund.
Bräshund.
Blasehund. Yeah, this Scorn is pretty awful here for us.
Poncho says the top 5 mistakes newer players make is to play your entire hand, but I don't think he's ever seen Sibin play. Are you calling Sibin a new player?
Well, he doesn't have any
You have
ribbons
no
in the factions he's actually playing, so in that
no,
sense...
because I think that on ladder he only plays Magmar. So if he's playing any other faction on ladder, he uses the Smurf account.
I think Trackle played all the things, and he played all the metas, and he played all the tournaments, and he played all the fake things.
Like, he played a deck from the time period where you would play Lava Lance in Starhorn. That is like, I play a True Strike because my deck is fast. Don't try this at home, kids.
I think the first... Yep. Okay,
you seem a bit indecisive here. You play Flameblood Warlock and then you stall.
I think the problem is here is that we don't really have a good answer to the board. And our hand was like a really, really thin.
Were you playing Hailstone Prisons? Because I would imagine that's a card you pair with Blazehound.
I think we were. So our one on our list is more aggro Fey.
Yeah, and you're actually not too far off. Like, sure, he's at 15, but you have the natural burst.
Yeah.
With more Flamebloods and the like. So, for instance, if he chooses to take 3 damage to clear the Flameblood, he's not very far off from dying in a couple of turns or so.
The problem is that he has like very clean answer to all minions, and we didn't actually have any minions on our hand left, so that's why we hesitated quite a bit there.
Yeah, he got the issue where his hand is currently full. Because Kron into BPS, Kron into replace is probably the ideal play, but he opts to clear board with Sister instead. Gravity Well off. Gravity Well is like one of those cards I will never play. that just dies to Crater.
I mean, Gravity Well is a really difficult card to play around if you get it off.
It's just, you can just farm it for Rage Reactors.
Who plays Rage Reactor?
You have no respect for the way you play Ragnar.
I have zero respect for the way you play Ragnar.
Oh look, that's the card you can't play next week, Cryptographer.
Alright, damn.
No more aggro-faying for you.
I think you killed like 90% of our list right there.
Yeah, you're playing a Dervish Xerix with Cryptographer. The Tempo Primus Fist.
Yeah. As you can see, it was a very rough game for us.
Yeah, I'm guessing he might even be playing Razorbacks in this deck.
I was thinking he was like playing the Winter's Wake combo or whatever that nonsensical card is.
He might have been doing that, but the issue is you have to play 2 cards. Like if it was just a 1-card thing, it would be easy to slap onto a lot of banner decks. But as you need to have 2, it becomes more awkward. Because I remember the old days before they had Winter's Wake in Standard, when they both only had Ice Age. You played Ice Age and then nothing happened. Because they were just stuck in the edges of the map.
I remember losing to that deck once, and it was like, I have absolutely no recollection that these cards actually exist in this game.
Ice Age isn't the most common.
But yeah, this was kind of like the thing with we worried with these aggro-fade list is that there's not enough attacks in the deck against all these walls.
But I'm curious, when you chose your deck against Sabiel's deck, because your deck doesn't have any AoE, didn't you have a deck with like access to AoE, like Tempest or Mecantor or Plasma Storm or something like that?
Now we chose this deck because Duelyst really wanted to play it. So
Okay.
I mean it's just like, you know, we didn't have any specifically good deck versus this list, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm sitting here as an expert, but technically I played 0 games in Timor, so like, what do I know about anything? I don't even get to play this game. It's like I'm a spectator. That's the sentence I have been served.
Well, isn't that the point of leadership, that you make yourself useless?
It really is. You should have a vote for the most useless captain at the end of the season, and I sure hope I win that one.
You need to try harder for that one, I think.
Or not try harder. You playing 2 or 3 Crumb Calls in this list?
I think we are playing.
Because when I tried Aggro Fae... Yeah, go ahead.
I think we played 3, yeah.
Because I think I tried like a list from Bry Guy that had 3 Crumb Calls, and they were terribly slow.
Yeah, it's not the same card it used to be.
Old kids will remember when Crumb Call dealt 2 damage.
That was just obnoxious.
It used to cleanly kill all Chakra avatars. It still probably does that today either way, because they take 2 points of damage, but still.
You know, like a random funny fact, it's, you know, like what is special about Chromatic Cold?
That it targets a space and not a minion or general.
Yes. Any other dispel spell targets a minion.
Oh.
So you could just cast the Chromatic Cold and deny the mana tile, which was something.
I mean, that's not true. Sumbloom doesn't target the minion.
Oh, that's true. Exceptions to every rule. I make up on the spot.
I think we saw a team ban EMP this week. Well, that's very true. Do you have any recollection of which team might have banned EMP?
I can actually check because I have the bans.
I think that is actually your team.
Lorem Ipsum.
No, I meant last week. This week.
What week?
Week 2. You banned EMP week 2.
Yeah. Lorem Ipsum did ban it on the week 1.
Absolute Chad move. So what are you top ticking here? Are you top ticking a spiral technique?
Conciliation Shroud.
Yeah, now you just need to draw into your million concealing shrouds and you win the game.
Yeah. By doing no damage. But to be fair, like Duelyst doesn't have all the cards, so from what I understand.
That's just, yeah, but so you can still build a pretty okay aggro Fae deck. It's not that. Yeah. Also, also note a very interesting detail here.
Yep.
Is that Zabiel chooses to play his BDS, even though it doesn't proc any damage. But the reasoning is that if the last spell cast was Concealing Shroud, then if you had a Alson Loremaster, you would get it back, but now you would just get the Warbird.
That is actually true. Good point. Unfortunately, I don't think this list is running Alchemy Loremasters, but very good point.
Zab also had the opportunity of bouncing his own Herald, but chose not to.
I don't think he really has anything to worry about right here.
No, but plopping down something like an EMP here could be really not too far off lethal in Sabiel's case. completely surrounded with scorn in hand.
There's some in-depth discussion, like what do we do here? Crowdy, well.
Yeah, I think the scorn alone is lethal.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
Mr. Mada, this is I think too. Please, I might be misremembering things because Bird Brains, but I think he's a new player and he doesn't have all the cards yet. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be a little bit rude, but I'm gonna have to take a 2-minute break, if you know what I mean.
yep.
I'm gonna mute myself and you can hold the monologue.
Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a co-caster who went for 2 minutes away. But yeah, the game is more or less over, so not the easiest start for our glorious team. But it's still refreshing to see like banner decks that aren't just going face like they were in World Cup most of the time. You'll just have to wait for 2 minutes to find out. Here we can see Sabiol setting up his lethal.
The co-caster miraculously survived.
So you just set up that explosion there.
You guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Alright, that was the first game in the set.
Mm-hmm.
And we move on to Neef versus Mana, who is also known as Ready to Quit.
I was actually checking my friends list and I noticed that I didn't have mana in it, and I was sad for a second because I thought he removed me.
Okay, I need to. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. Stop playing so many games against each other.
There are 4 normal cards in this hand, and then there's a fifth one, which is Sunstrike. Niv also rocking the legendary Rogue Guardian skin.
You used to run the moderator chat thing on the official Since Dead Discord channel for a very long time. I think
Yep.
Neef is actually one of the Kickstarter backers. I might be misremembering, but anyway.
Golem high roll, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you have Skrulito Bandito on board.
So how can you explain this bird?
I think the reasoning is that Poncho tried out the card in Ox and found it to be really fun and enjoyable, so he decided to play it in non-Ox versions. The design is rather cool. It looks like a crane. Not crane.
Yeah.
Is it called crane? I don't know bird names in English. I know one
I think
type of bird.
I think it's a stork.
Yeah, maybe.
But I also think like
This
it's very very important to note that it's a bird.
Yeah. This is definitely me when I golem high roll. That's a lot of mana tiles. Imagine not playing Kaiba Holder.
Perp is to ramp up to 5 as player 2.
Oh, he's playing Bones, he's playing Ironclad then. Oh, imagine having juxtaposition legal.
Imagine having a board.
That's probably going to be the case because I don't think he's going to clean off the Celebrant entirely. And then with the Tigers coming down next turn, you could probably get some board lapping going.
Yeah, that was the plan, but like, you know, Songhai happens.
Yes, that is correct. Attack the golem. So BBS is up, which makes sticking the one of them scary.
Yeah.
He's got a corner of the Tigers, which has a guaranteed 100% chance of getting good spawn.
Yeah, it's just the flame wreath is still on the board, and I think that's a big issue.
Oh yeah, the flame wreath is super duper scary.
Yeah. I mean that basically
Obviously,
means
you can
that
only get
Tigress
one.
is not gonna survive for too long.
It's beefy, but it does threaten without any out of hand 4 damage with wreath. So Primus Fist's inner focus is enough to clear it.
Tense moments. What does Mr. Mana think?
I'm curious as to why there's a Mage Warren in this deck. It seems tempo-y, but then Mage Warren is there.
Yeah, I don't actually know. But Mage Warren is pretty good against Songhai, so I guess that was the idea.
Yeah. Of course, now this is going to be enough to clean off the Yellow Tigers. And it doesn't even need to get the hands dirty of the Flame Wreath. Simply keep it at 3-4, which means it survives its general hit.
Yep.
Replaces the
Trinity of
Golem there, which I think
Golem,
was incorrect. I would have replaced Lion.
But the Soul Pontiff doesn't get any procs off without golems, right?
Soul Pontiff is a 3-4.
True.
And it makes out the golems bigger.
Yeah.
But now we can play 2 things in 1 turn. And it's
But
really
still,
to quit. You have the option of just backlining that backstory.
Also, there's this problem with this backstory is that we don't have a clean answer for it. In our list, we didn't put any martyrdoms or anything.
No, you could actually have put the Zenruian in as a weird wonky answer to it.
But does
Is he a
Zenrui
norm?
have...
No, not Zenrui.
Like,
Oh yeah, it's called Zenrui.
like, doesn't Zenrui like be a Songhai card?
Zenrui the Blightspawn. That's the card that steals a minion with 2 or less health, 2 or less attack.
I actually have to now check that out because I have absolutely no idea what you. I only faintest memory collection. What is that card? Oh, January Blightspawn. Yeah, true. It's the one that steals minions, right? Yes. I don't think we are that old school yet.
Yeah, I don't think that card actually sees play. It's a worse version of Grapple Paradigm, which is a 5/5 and steals across the column.
Mm.
And the Thunder could have been one back, right? Because the lion can hit it, or has the lion moved once?
I don't think the lion has moved yet.
He moved too forward. Hmm. Nom nom. More card draw.
Yeah, I remember people saying like Packagori is a really bad card, but like nowadays it's like it just seems to be a really strong card.
I remember when they released the art for it, and people complained about the card being banned even before they released what it did in its stat line and such.
But yeah, there's like a lot of like problems we just have here. Like we are barely dealing with the board, and there's like a Sendo on the board, and there's a Packagori we need to get rid of. There's a Bando there, like.
Yeah, but having Mage Warden on board is clutch here because it makes the wreath more hard to get off, almost impossible. Also, name here choosing to pass, not playing either of his cards in hand.
Yeah. I think the idea is that it's not really useful right now. But yeah, I was like wondering about that Battle Bando positioning because it was seemed kind of awkward when the general hit the Packagori instead.
Ooh. That's pretty rough.
That's a card. How do you feel about Hammond Blade Seeker?
It's very, very rarely worth it, but if you have to play it, you have to play it in the Sendo list. Every time I've played it, it's been a letdown. It just dies to like Buke and Sansa Paragon and the obligatory 5 mana Vitruvian removal.
Mm. And there's the Honor defeat.
But it's cute if you can get a Ray to suicide against it, because then the damage it deals you at the start of your turn is removed.
I actually have Mr. Man. That is awkward. Okay,
we could probably ask Mr. Mana how he spells his in-game username in chat.
Alright. I got you, buddy. There's some inconsistencies in my data.
Your bird data.
Alright, so we are ready to head off to the final game of this match.
You see a very handsome player here piloting the leftmost faction.
Yeah. And we see the Ready to Quit once again reprising his role as the mighty Songhai.
So you swayed a little bit on the Lava Storm, because I recall that you were not very keen on those when we played in DWC.
Well, that's the funny thing, because I basically bundled a bunch of decks to NIF, and I said like, I was thinking these lists, and those were taken from our old World Cup chat. And I didn't know and I didn't notice like one of the lists was actually like somebody else's.
Yeah, because you were very adamant in your critique of the card.
Yeah.
So here, as Ready to Quit, you play Battle Pando in front of yourself to deny the tile, and you also push 1 point of damage to everything on board. It's pretty powerful.
Or you can just not do that.
Ready to Quit gets, Jim, you get an okay spawn here.
Yeah.
It doesn't let you clear it with like Dunecaster or Primus Fist, perhaps.
I think this list was actually running costs, which is how I know that it's not actually my list because I will never play cost. So I'm not totally
What
sure.
did you call it? Cost? No.
Cost. Kust.
Oh, Gust.
That's what I said. Cost.
Gust.
Cost. Gust. Well,
Accents are funny and quirky.
yeah. Two Nordics talking. But yeah.
No, but a lot of things in Duelyst is actually named after Pokemon things, and Gust is no exception. It's a fly-lead Pokemon.
You cut off there, so I didn't hear you. You got
I
censored.
might Scrooge. No, a lot of things in Duelyst is named after Pokemon-related things, and Gust is actually a Pokemon move.
Isn't it a spell or TM or whatever you kids call them nowadays?
Well, a TM is a different type of thing. Like, you can learn Pokemon moves via TM, but Gust is a low-power flying type spell where you, like, blow air at your opponent with wings.
Yeah.
And, like, for instance, the card in Ridiculous's hand here, Inner Focus, is actually a Pokemon ability, which prevents flinching.
Which is once again the Pokemon ability of not getting burned to the face.
And the entire faction of Magmar is actually named after a fire-type Pokemon.
And Nintendo hasn't sued us yet, so I think we're doing fine.
Yeah, Copper Atlas can be tricky.
Yeah,
I feel like they probably went between should we name it Magmar or Magmortar, and ultimately they chose the wrong.
Well, coming back to this game, I wasn't super happy about this position in the end. Because we are playing Pokemon Arena.
No,
so.
it's I'm gonna play the raw Flame Wreath here.
Kato Assassin. Well, to be fair, you could have actually inner focused Pando. Got and clean off that Dervish.
Yeah, you could actually have. No, wait, you couldn't. I was thinking if you could inner focus Miss Dragon Seal and somehow place it in front of the obelisk so it would ping everything on board for 1 damage.
Yeah. And you could kind of rid off the obelisk as well. That way.
Yeah, but I don't think it's enough damage. Unless
But
you
if
play
hit,
Death Strike Seal.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I maybe keeping those cards is better than cleaning up some Lava Storm Pulpilisk.
I mean, you're hand dumping without actual draw, and that very rarely is a good strategy.
Oh, there comes the dragon.
Yeah. And you did miss sequence though, because you probably should have hit before so that the Dragon Obelisk would have been 9 health.
No, because I need the buff to get the Portal Guardian to have 3 attack. Without doing the double ping.
Okay, that's fair.
Because otherwise the Portal Guardian would be like 3-1 or something. Because I would have had to hit with the General as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's how damage works.
I know it's a big number, 3. But if you practice with Vitruvian, you will learn the numbers up to
There's
3.
my country, which is called literally 3, and I feel like it's too intimidating to pick them.
Is your country really called 3?
There's a service provider called 3.
Ah.
Literally 3. We're also seeing some discussion here in the chat between Poncho Mango and Mr. Mana.
I've been trying to follow that discussion, but I'm not sure if my brain is following that discussion.
No, the discussion is that Poncho's the captain of Toronto Cringe-tastic Raptors, and he was away game 1, so he's critiquing their cringe place in his absence.
Ah. I mean, it will be very confusing if it's actually talking about the sets we already casted before. Just randomly.
So do you recall what your hand was at this point?
I think I had a fireplace in hand, and everything else is kind of blurry. I think I might have also had the...
Fallacies in the first Twitch would be pretty Gucci.
Yeah. No, I've had the Nimbus in hand. That was the thing, yeah.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Play here. Yeah, you can actually play Nimbus in his face and like force his obelisks, force him to spawn a million obelisks for you.
Yeah. I mean, that was the discussion in the previous turn. Do we play Tricon or Nimbus first? I kind of felt that Tricon was a better option because that's more health and so on forth, so they have to spend more resources to kill it.
Did you have the mana to play Nimbus though?
Well, that too. No, wait, I had stuff like poop on the tile or something.
Big numbers are intimidating even to birds.
I mean, 4 and 5 are basically so big they're the same number.
Yeah, this is actually awkward for Mr. Mana here, because he doesn't want you to get the obelisks to spawn.
I think what he did was pretty clean in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what
I mean,
he
if
did,
you
but
get
it
a
was pretty
Soulburn
clean.
obelisk. I mean,
Yeah.
Soulburn is a card that can punish you here. You know, the 0/4 that kills a minion if it deals damage to it?
Yeah. Or you could be playing Eclipse or something, I don't know. I really like this player, to be honest. Because this basically sidesteps the whole issue, and now I'm so behind on board I cannot react.
Ooh. But is this move punished by Blood of Air?
I think they banned Blood of Air. Or they banned Reader, I don't remember. One of those cards.
Well, they played around Blood of Air, at least for this position.
Because the thing is that I don't have 8 attack in my hand.
Oh,
It's
you're not playing as Voth.
Yeah. It's very hard thing to pull off with Vitruvian.
I mean, you play Fallacious and Sash and then EVBS, and then you have 8 attack all of a sudden.
And you play Nose, so you get like the flying double celerity. All that good stuff. And Blast.
I have some plans to be playing a what's it called? A Nose deck at some point. Not really certain when though.
The what deck?
A Nose deck in And no, you know, the notion of Starless Eternity. I have that prepared. We'll see if it's this week or whatever, what week it is.
A part of me is super happy that you know the whole thing of, because I sure wouldn't.
That's actually pretty clean.
Yeah, but
Or
you
well,
have
you
to
took
take,
8, so
yeah.
it's okay by circumstances. I think this is lethal, actually.
Yep. Hamon Bloodseeker winning games.
In 2019, all years. Soon to be
Yeah.
2020.
I think you should ban Hamon Bloodseeker.
We can about that for next week, for week 3.
Alright, so we move on to the final match in the series. Commodore Crusaders versus Rock and Rocks.
Lamau, who those teams?
I don't know, some no names.
I was really scared about them in game 1. I think they're strong contenders to win.
Speaking of which, you can probably talk about bans.
Oh, you mean the cards we imposed upon them?
Yeah. Which team are you, by the way?
We're Rock and Rocks. Me, Rock and Beards, Project Boronian, and newly crowned Grandmaster Spammer Noob. Yeah, so what we went for with this ban was essentially we was trying to ban list we could, because we thought they were going to be very difficult to defeat, or at the very least we were going to lose very hard to them. So we were thinking about what we wanted to ban. So we figured that we wanted to ban Metallurgist because it's a card you tend to play in Magmar, Vitruvian, and Temple Linar. So that was like a card we chose to ban. We chose to ban the Cantor Warbeast because that's a card you tend to play a lot. We were thinking about banning lands, but we figured that you could just play something that isn't X, and then the lands ban is worthless. Owlbeast because we didn't want them to be playing Arcanists, and then Reader because it's a pretty good Vitruvian card.
I disagree.
This does mean we're gonna have a. This does mean we have to last for week 2, so we had to make some hard choices in bans, there, like Cryptographer.
I mean, that's the cool ideas in this format, that you cannot pick the same pans, so you actually get a ban meta in a sense. But I think we are also ready to move on to the next game, and I'm gonna boost it up slightly so we can go to sleep at some point, if that's okay with you.
We see Beards here, and for those who have a keen memory, he was the captain of old PP Poo Poo team, which sadly lost all their games.
Well, if somebody has been looking at the scoreboards, like, yeah, well, there's a second part to that story apparently. But yeah.
Poncho, we're actually going to see mechs. Yes, we're going to see mechs. And the bands were very identical. The only difference in the bands were that they had the exact ban list when Metallurgist became Owlbeast. But they chose to ban Juxta instead of Sandspoiler, which they're going to get punished for next week, as they can't ban Owlbeast and Jux again. So they're going to have to be playing the optimal Arcanist deck, unless they choose to ban something for those. We can actually check what they ban next week, can't we?
Yeah.
They did not ban a single Songhai card, so they did no attempts to stopping them.
I guess they're pretty confident in their anti-Songhai ways.
Oh, it seems like Lorem Ipsum gets to play Arcanist this week as well. nonetheless, we can see that Pierce is playing mechs, and that VBC is playing build.
Something build.
Curiously, it's a different type of build. Curiously, neither of these decks are actually playing because we banned Mecantor and Kimono Crusaders.
They also banned Macantor, yes.
And
You're
the list
cutting-
of PVC is actually the list. Am I cutting off?
Yeah, you're cutting off a bit.
Wait for the mic. Maybe I should slam some keys on the table so we wake up again.
Please don't.
No, but the list that BBC is playing doesn't have Mecantor, and it didn't even play Mecantor when it was legal in TWC.
Interesting. You can already see like a old friend from times past. Perch is yes, he's part of Commodore Dragons, I think, or Rock and Rocks.
It's part of Rock and Rocks.
Rock and Rocks, yes. And the VPC is Commodore Dragons.
Yeah. Komodo Crusaders, technically. And she have a shared team in DWC, and I think that they recruited him that way into the team.
Wow, this turn is taking a long time.
You need a lot of thinking when you play mechs into Buildmar.
That is actually very true.
So Pierce is doing something extremely forbidden here, and that is actually playing natural selection. And I don't like playing spells in my Magmar decks, unless they're flash or deck spikes.
In the Crater Fort.
Hmm?
In the Crater Fort as well, so the mech survives.
Yeah, I figured we could hand down when we're playing Boronian. You probably replaced the Reliquary here, I think. Or the Shroud.
I would imagine the like
On-
higher.
What are you really hitting with the Dispel?
The Megazord.
Can you reach it? It's gonna be placed in the corner.
Or
We'll
it's
see.
gonna have rush and just slam me to your face.
Shout out to Metal 2's sprite though, it's really good.
The artist in this game was just amazing. Like that's literally the reason I started playing this game. I saw the concept art for Sirix and I was like, yeah, I'm playing that game. I don't even care if it's bad, I'm playing that game.
Yeah, just slams the Raptor into the Hulk player, which is the second Hulk he's playing. Now he draws a third Hulk.
Just in case.
Yeah. UVC actually doesn't play tech spikes in this deck. Or Decimus.
Do you remember that combo we lost to once against Buildmar? In the finals, nonetheless, I think.
Oh, you mean Whirlcore Golem?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing against Shade, who was playing. He was playing Ragnora, and I was under the impression that he was playing aggro Ragnora, but he was actually playing a Whirlcore Golem and Mitotic Induction. So we were playing like a slow Sephiroth with like EMP and Swarm King, and he just played a Whirlcore Golem on us, and we lost.
I'm
That's
still not sure if
disappointing.
I'm upset about that loss or not, but you know, happened. It was a great game anyway.
Yeah, I was just so disappointed when they played Whirlcore Golem. They had 7 mana and they flashed something, and I was like, "What are you flashing? Are you flashing Kragon or Whirlcore? Or a Juggernaut?"
So he has like 3 Relic Guardians in his hand right now.
He's
And
probably deciding whether he should be playing his 4 mana card or his 4 mana card. Ultimately decides on the building.
I mean, Birds doesn't have the silver mana up yet, I think. So it's not super scary right now. How much silver is? Isn't it 6 or something?
Silver is 6, but there is this card in Magmar that is called Flash Reincarnation that can allow you to summon the next minion for 2 less. It's a very fringe card, so it's not strange you haven't heard of it.
Well, I just don't imagine people playing such bad cards in this game.
Oh, I agree. Why would you play spells when there are minions?
Yeah, like Megasaurs.
Why isn't it just all decks, Titan decks?
I mean, they put that board
So
on the game for a reason.
I remember being very nervous in this game, so I can't really remember what our hand was. But I was saying that we can't be close to the Gigaloth, so we have to move away. So that he couldn't get the free slap with the Gigaloth. So I think we traded the Metal Tooth into the 5/5, but then we shoot the egg with the 2/2, and then we play something like... I think we play Sword here, actually. Mistake, because we could play...
Well, Sasai is very big.
Now, I was thinking that was a mistake because we had double Sword in hand. So we could have played Sword this turn and then Greater Fortitude, which would have let us play Flash Chassis into Sword next turn again. Because our hand was like double Sword, Flash, and Chassis. So we could have gotten Megazord next turn. Because we were at, I think, 60 right now. If anybody understood what I meant there.
To be honest, I completely dropped off like 3 sentences ago. You were saying something numbers, and I was like, yep, you got it.
Well, we could have played Sword this turn to get it up to 60, and then Fortitude it. And next turn we could have flashed the Chassis together with another Sword to get Megazord next turn. Light misplay.
So you're saying you have a flash in hand?
I think we have a flash and a sword. 2 swords. Flash, swords, 2 swords, and something else.
And now you have like kick a lot in your face.
Yep, we do indeed. The progenitor is super greedy, though. You get so punished when you don't have Zoetic Charm to give your eggs force field.
Yeah, maybe it's just to get more like potential to get a Reliquarian out or something. I have absolutely no idea what this build more list is trying to do, but it seems super scary. And I'm emotionally scarred already.
Ideally, you want your Reliquarian to sack a backline Hulk, so you would get 10 attack above everything by +10/+10. Yeah. And sometimes you also play Repulsor Beast just specifically so you can teleport something into the face of a Gigaloth and you get your board jacked up. This Buildamar is actually very, very strong if you draw correctly. Yeah, and here this turn we just build board and trade for free into the Galoth.
To be honest, it kind of feels like those things have been there for like 20 minutes by now. But yep. Now the Reliquarian is out.
That's not far from the truth. They actually hatched naturally enough by a Timekeeper.
Yeah.
BBC choosing to clean off the Decimus here. And that Reliquarian and that Gigaloth is pretty big here.
So do you think Megazord has a good answer to this? madness.
Perhaps.
That's a highly ominous statement. Especially when you have like a 52 attack facing your way. And not that far off.
I don't know. We may be holding some cards.
To be fair, that's why nobody likes silver.
It's a 6-mana 7/5 with rush, force field, and ranged.
To all your minions.
Yeah, I don't think actually Pierce noticed the lethal instantly. I think we told him there was a lethal there.
But yeah, that sometimes happens when you see like 52 attack in your face. You're like, how do I survive?
Yeah, I was really nervous that game because I didn't want us to lose to Bilmore. I don't think we actually had that strong of a deck against Bill. I was trying to get the team to select the mid-sif deck because I was... With the bans we made, I was certain that they were going to be playing Biltmore and Obelisks, which they eventually did do. But they didn't really like my idea of playing mid-sif, as we had golems banned. So they would much rather just play Obelisks. Bam or noob.
I don't know. I think Macandor is just overhyped as a card. Like, to be fair.
Yeah. Does Lyvern agree with you on that though? Your teammate?
I think he's still stuck on the rebuke train.
Well, not this week.
Yeah. Well, we move on to the second game, Birds versus Nick Larden.
Yep. So they lose the mechs, and then they decide to play aggro, or they played aggro cast. There's no point in me building suspense, I guess. Oh no! Exactly what this mech deck did not need: cards. This is why I think playsound is so bad. It's like you just gave us a card which we can play to get mech progression.
But it's a 4/3. It goes face.
Yeah, it goes face. It's a bloodshot golem.
It survives the first attack.
Yeah. So there's a lot of other 3-drops like Blood Lamenter.
It trades better.
It trades. Oh yeah, your team playsound. That's true. You're like, this deck doesn't need draw. It has 3 playsounds.
Yeah. Well, if you start banning Spelljammers, so you need to get the card from somewhere.
Oh, we're not banning Spelljammers. We're not. We don't have the balls that Duelyst Disciples has.
But they know what's up.
I think it's interesting because why they would choose Casaba in this matchup. So either they choose Casaba because they think they can out-aggro us, or they think they can use Casaba to remove our threats, which is untrue because Force Field is semi-immune to punish as the first ping, doesn't go through, so you can't punish a Mechazor after pinging it. You need double ping.
Yeah.
Which makes this counter pick weird.
That's a very good question. But sometimes I think teams just pick whatever they feel like playing, so they don't like put too much thought into the actual strategical implications and the tactical benefit and disadvantages you might find.
Are you trying to downplay yourself so we're gonna underestimate you?
No, I'm just saying that's open to possibility.
Look at this hand; it's too high curved. We need some 1-drops so we can get Mechazor out. Thank you. We needed another card.
What the heck is that card? Say smart. Oh my god. just in case you run out of mechs.
Yeah.
Do you
Play
guys
size more.
are you actually
again?
playing all the mech cards in the game?
No, we don't play 3 swords. We only play 2, and we don't have Project Omega or Alter X or Replicants.
Do you think you should?
Or, I suggested we could play a one-off Project Omega, but Pierce did not want that. We play that isn't the mech is Decimus.
Yeah, Decimus is kind of hard card to get rid of anywhere, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, Decimus is really good.
Is Ghoulie in the deck? Good question.
Is technically isn't. Oh, this is a strong play from the Clarn.
Double white pose.
Yeah, it just lets us set up things. No, Ghoulie is not in the deck.
No,
Which technically is a mech.
Yeah. I mean, it's everything. It's even an obelisk.
To that because technically obelisk isn't a trial. It's a type of minion similar to Wraithling. It's not a trial, but it's like a type of.
Yeah,
minion.
it's actually a structure. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and you could target Ghoulie with Stone to Spears, but they changed that.
They changed that? Why?
Because Ghoulie technically isn't an obelisk, it's a structure.
I thought the Stone to Spear targeted structures.
I think it's Texas like may move and attack if able and gains to attack or something.
Yeah.
But it would be a nice thing if it actually would let you move structures.
Yeah.
So you can actually move and attack a friendly flood. What's it called?
Bastion?
The totems you get?
Oh, you mean the Soul Burn?
Spy Cleaver. Yeah. No, that's a different thing.
No, I think
What's
that's
it
Soul
called?
Burn.
Chat, help me out. What is the obelisk called that you get for Spy Cleaver?
Totems something of another. Spiny Cleaver.
Yeah. I can't recall right now.
I mean, it was
must be
something
looking-
burn, something blood.
Soulburn is the one that you can get from Alamancer and
Yeah, yeah.
Nimbus.
Nimbus,
This isn't the same.
Yeah, it's a blood shard totem, I think.
I don't
Maybe.
think so. It's something totem. Bloodfire totem, yeah.
Bloodfire, yes.
Can't wait to ping punish that Mechazor. Oh, wait.
Well, Nicola is still at full health, so not all is lost, as they say.
Yeah. That's the Mechazor from her hand.
Unfortunately, you guys are cheating, so yeah.
We actually play Sizemore into Flash Silver this turn. I don't know. That actually lets us ban the Desolator. Even though I was on this team, I have no recollection of how we played.
It seems a very intense debate. I'm not totally sure why you wouldn't play there, except if you really want to keep it alive, but I'm not sure why you want to keep it alive when there's a ping.
No, what was happening here was we tried to play around both Necrotic Sphere and Betrayal.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and we also wanted to deny him reaching us.
Speaking of which, the chassis don't get double Rosefield from the silver.
Mm, no, we did. We discussed that. We discussed that earlier, right? With Zoetic Charm.
Yeah.
Force field is unique. Is a unique interaction only to Zoetic Charm.
Yeah.
So no, you don't get double force field.
Because that will piss me.
Called Divine Shield in Hearthstone, I think. That it cancels the first damage you take, and that it doesn't come back.
Yeah, I think by the game logic, it should just like you take the 1 damage and it cancels all the shields at once. So you have applied.
So does Declarin have enough to kill me here, or kill Pierce here?
Kill me, Perch.
See after this short commercial break. 6 points of damage. Pierce is a 10.
To be fair, Nick Lauren is doing pretty good job with the damage.
Yeah, I mean, this list actually isn't playing any heal at all, so it's surprising that they just didn't pick, a burn list against this. I mean, this technically is a burn list, but, point. Interesting why we would replace Silva, though. It's essentially a mecha sword at this point. Yeah.
I will probably just toast out the Sage mod here, because you already have 1 on board, so...
Yeah, or we just kill him.
Yeah, that too. Or you can just be boring. And not play the game.
No, we kill him. We kill him alright. Actually, I have lethal Wide Decimus here, but we chose not to do that lethal. Or did we? Oh, okay, we did that. Because we were gonna do the Rebuke play, because Sideswipe had the Frenzy, so it would deal damage to the enemy general, but we decided otherwise we had got Decimus.
But if you frenzy with force field and you hit yourself, doesn't that do 0 damage to the things around you?
No, you don't deal damage to yourself, but you frenzy everything around you. So you become like a living Mecantor. That's one of the ways that Nick goes about it, where you summon Necasaur. I think it's the top one.
I mean, to be fair, that's...
Yeah, that one.
That interaction still confuses me.
They conceded game 1 because I think they brought the wrong deck. Yeah, I was actually worried about their opponents might be bringing crossbones, because 2 of our lists carried La Tigers, 1 was a mech deck, so... was correct.
While you were pondering that statement, the Mighty Balloon on the right side playing Vitruvian with Pax and Faustius of all things, like old classics.
Yeah, we were discussing that when we were looking at his list and afterwards, because it's a slow obelisk list, but it plays 3 Faustius, and that kind of confused me, because Faustius is typically a card you play in Sash or in aggro decks, and this is neither.
Well, when Faustius was still broken, just with 3 mana, it's very stable. Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason they didn't ban it was because it was, or ban it, didn't nerf it, was because it was gonna rotate soon, so they just never bothered fixing it.
Yeah. And when
now
it
it's
throw it back there, I think
now
this buff the mana by 1 point.
Oh, and we don't pop the packs, of course, because if we kill it and during our turn, he gets to move the obelisks instantly, and now they get summoning sickness, so they can't move.
You mean the poop?
Oh yeah, of course. The poop can't move.
Yeah.
Because the poop has summoning sickness.
I would be super tempted to play the Dunecaster here into First Wish.
The problem with your First Wish, you can't take tile with the Filomancer.
Yeah, but you get more poop on the board.
This is true. You are technically correct.
Because if it's just Allomancer, then your board is pretty easy to clean up, and you only have one Allomancer on the board.
Yeah, and we already showed that we had greater fortitude.
Yeah.
So that cannon can hit for 4 next turn if it's unlucky.
So now I think I would personally be thinking like Obelisk into Dunecaster into First Wish, I guess.
Yeah, you could probably do 3 mana Obelisk into Dunecaster.
Yeah. Not a huge
He's
fan
gonna
of
go
Allomancer here.
I think he plays it behind us to pressure the minions we have on board. I also hear Inner Focus can cure Summoning Sickness and Assassination Protocol and Spirit of the Wild. Hates Furnace.
Yeah, without lethal, I will play a single card. No, Meteor. Well, I could like Flash Macantor.
Flash Macantor Amplification. That's the good shit.
Just imagine all the numbers you could like pop at once. And you could like clean up the Allomancer so you can just hit it on the Obelisk and not care.
Yeah, Fortitude would let us clean it off with the backline cannon.
Oh, Swarm King.
But I don't think Double Eggmorph can cure Summoning Sickness because you can't turn your own minion into an egg. Turn an enemy minion into an egg or hatch a friendly egg, so you can't actually turn your own minion into an egg. This is definitely us when we mill our opponent's card.
Wow. I thought it was like any minion you could turn into an egg and then hatch that egg.
No.
But it would make sense that
It's only enemy.
you cannot hatch your own. Yeah. I mean, there.
Back our board is just a bunch of random 2/2s and 3/1s, and it's still so menacing.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to deal with.
Bombard. We don't speak of Bombard here.
I think this is just being very greedy.
Well, 5. So they're down 0-4, and we haven't shown them Herald or Mystic or Earthsphere. So they're probably deduced that we don't have any healing, which means that any damage we take is permanent. So the reasoning of going faces makes sense from that perspective.
I'm just like concerned with this like clumping up all your eggs in one basket kind of play with the obelisks and so forth. Like you're not caring about the board anymore. It's just like how much damage can I push to the face. But this is like a losing race because the more obelisks you poop out, the bigger board your enemy has at the point. So they're not actually issue anymore.
With the way we're spacing our minions, we can easily get punished by Star Sphere here. Fortunately, we don't have it.
Yeah.
Or they don't have it.
It would be interesting to know if the Mighty Balloon actually had it in his list. I think he's running costs, so probably not. polymorph works on all minions. That's what I vaguely recall.
Does it? So it lets you actually turn your own minions into eggs. That's not my recollection of a card. Moves, play single target removal.
So the question is, can you kill the Mighty Balloon this turn?
I don't think so. I think we're more concerned with not dying here. Also here we choose to make a slight mistake, because I'm gonna show you later. I'm gonna tell later. Explain.
Now you're just
can't
like
even
making
count.
everyone like think like, what is the mistake?
What's taking so long? I want to explain the mistake we made. Oh, Pierce, play faster. We're playing mechs. You're supposed to play your entire hand. This is no time for thinking.
You know, this is probably the slowest match we've had. And we're doing
The
it
next
1.5 times speed.
Oh yeah.
And tension
Now
is
the
rising.
mistake here, as you can see, is we don't play the wing, or we don't play anything to block off the space above the obelisk, so it could spawn. So if you had crazy burst damage in hand, you could have killed us, like third wish into Dunecaster's lethal here.
Yeah.
No, I don't actually think he played third wish. I think he played first wish, second wish, and blood of air only spells. And of course, he does not play Sandstorm Leader as that's banned.
I'm just actually thinking that maybe he had lethal with Gus there.
I mean, Boronian, sure, I agree with you there, but did you think that Pierce was pretty strong-willed about his play? And at that point, he was 4 mil ahead, so he was pretty self-confident.
Because I think he actually had a lethal there with Gust. I'm too tired to think it through, but I think he may have had the lethal there. Maybe.
Can you pause the game for a second? Let's see if I had it. So what you would do is you would hit the 2-2. Oh, now it's screwed up. But you hit the 2. So you can get it with the general, and you need to double hit with Gust, right?
Yeah. So that's the goal.
Still not lethal. That's 1 off. Oh, we had first wish. Okay, cool. So there was in theory lethal.
Yeah. That's
Even
what I
if
was
it
thinking.
wasn't guaranteed.
Yeah. So I was thinking there's a possibility for the lethal, but it's slim.
Nope. And that Swarm King is sitting very nicely in his hand, not being played. I love how that turn 2 cannon has been around the entire time since it's been summoned.
Well, you guys banned the Blood of Earth.
Oh, we banned Sandstorm.
Well, same thing.
But I think he I think he milled the Sandstorm. Or Blood of Air, I can't talk right now. So here we do a swanky play. Yeah, I don't think you would expect to see this board in a competitive Duelyst game. Size Void Gust, Falchia's Mechasaur.
Well, you know, all the normal playing cards, as you say.
You see Rebuke hitting for 6 damage. Yeah.
Well played.
So the second to last game.
Unfortunately, also the last game of the stream.
Mm-hmm. I can go ahead and tell anyone who didn't know that we actually swept Komodo Crusaders this week with playing Mechhorn. We won all 6 games playing Mechhorn against Komodo Crusaders.
Yeah, I think the Rock and Rocks is kind of misleading. it's like you put the emphasis on the Rocken, but then you put like
Rocket was struggling and trying to get his voice to work, like his mic, much like I was, which was in the beginning of the stream.